tool lots, reliable equipment, fast.
Welcome back. Today we're back in the workshop and we're going to do the machine setup on the new laser. So what we're going to do first is we're going to hook up the chiller. I've got some distilled water here. This is what you're going to want to use. Probably what you're going to want to use for the chiller in the summer months. I live up in Minnesota, so I will also be using this RV water line. Antifreeze. It's really good for sub-zero temperatures. So we're going to do that later in the year. I figured I'd run nice clean water through the chiller in the system for now. And then we'll do a winterized version of that as well. So, but the process will be the same. Alright, so let's get the chiller installation going. You're going to need this sensor cable, this guy here, out of the pack. And then there's you got two sets of hoses here as well. I could probably cut to length. I probably will. I'll probably cut these to length. I don't necessarily want all the extra slack. I'm going to have my chiller right next to the machine anyways. So yeah, let's get going on that, and I'll kind of show you my process as I go along. Alright, now here we are down here at the spout. I've just got a little spigot here. It looks like there's probably some water in the system that they had from the factory. And then we got our chiller over here. I just pull the plugs off of there. And then you got your spouts. You got your two spouts up here, inlet, outlet. And then you're just going to match your inlet outlets on here. So I'd imagine your outlet's going to go to the inlet. And your outlet's going to go to the inlet on here. So you're going to have to cross them. We'll hook up this cable last. No need to put that in now. So yeah, I'm going to pull this off. Looks like they just use straight antifreeze on here. So, maybe I will use antifreeze. We'll see. So not much came out. Alright, so I'm going to cut these to length now. You could probably use some sort of hose cutter, but I've got a razor blade here, so it should work just fine. So yeah, my chiller's going to be pretty much right here. I'll have a little extra slack in the lines here as I go. But honestly, I think one length of this tubing will be just enough. So I think I'm just going to cut it in half. Cut super easy with the razor blade. Cut it in half. They do give you hose clamps with this, but I'm not going to put any on if it feels tight enough. Yeah, it feels really tight. So I'm just going to put them on by themselves. That's how it came, and it wasn't leaking in the box. So, all right. So our inlet there is going to come from our outlet here. Shove it on there real good. All right. So, got our water lines hooked up there. Those are ready to go. And we can put this chiller's alarm outlet thing on. But before that, I think I might try cycling water through this. So I'm going to pour the water into the chiller quick. Alright, so I got my water here, and I actually just cut up a little water bottle to make like a makeshift funnel. Alright, let's pour the water in. Of course, I still spilled. Alright, just water. Alright, so if you look down here, there's a level meter here. You're gonna want to try to abide by that. Looks like 1 gallon hasn't even got us up to the low line yet. So let's keep pouring. Alright, there's about 1.5 gallons. Let me look. Alright, 1.5 gallons puts us in the middle of the normal, so I'm going to keep going because we're going to probably have to fill up the tube. Let's go like 1.75 gallons. Alright. 1.75 gallons gets us up to the full line. So, see how that gets us? Put the cover on. Not sure if you can see that, but yeah, you see the water line there? It looks like just to the top of the normal. So right now I want to cycle water through it now. So let's see how that goes. I don't know if you actually have to get the air out of the system or not, but we're gonna find out. Okay, so we got the laser cover open now. I'm gonna see if I can cycle some water through here without, like, do it manually, just to pre-prime the system here. Turn it on. There it is. Okay, she just instantly cycles water. I hear a pump going. So let's see if it's going up through this. It's going up through the tube right now. If there is air in the system, but I don't know if if it works itself out or not. There was a little antifreeze in there, but you do see it cycling through. So that's cool. That's crazy. Yeah, there's like a little air bubble there. It kind of just filled up that whole outer tube. And there we go. Now it kicked on. And then our fill level dropped to about half within normal operating. So it's good that we filled it up. So honestly, I think that's all you do. I don't think you really have to bleed the system. I'd imagine the air all goes to the top of the tank on the chiller. Perfect. Don't forget to put your cable in. Let's put this cable on quick. It goes on one way, so you shouldn't have to worry about polarity. There we go. There it is. Maybe I'll zip tie this along with the lines or something as we go. I gotta be careful as I move the machine back over so I don't yank any of those cords. But for now, for demonstration purposes, we're just gonna leave it like this. And then plug your main power cord into this slot as well. What's really cool on this machine is you just plug all your peripherals into these outlets back here, and then you only have one plug. You have your main power plug. So that's pretty neat. Alright, now that step's done on the chiller, so let's move on to the rest of the setup. I think we'll do the exhaust fan next. Alright, here we are next. We got our dust collection system. God, I call it dust collection. I have a CNC machine, and that's what they call it in that. Sorry, air exhaust system on the laser here. This is a 6-inch exhaust pipe, by the way. When I do eventually vent this outside, I'm going to get a 6-inch louver duct that bolts into the siding on the outside, and then it has flappers that shut itself. So when it's only in use, it opens itself up to extract the smoke, and then when it's not in use, it brings itself back down. So I'm going to tighten these up. They don't need to be super tight. You don't want to tear this. This is like a fabric hose. You're not going to want to tear it. So just get them snug. Thank God for power tools. Makes life so much easier. Alright, and then you're going to grab that other clamp. Then you're going to grab your third clamp. You're going to put it on the machine first. Then we're going to plug this in. Honestly, I don't know which way this works. Which one sucks and which one blows. Right now I have this in kind of this orientation. I believe it blows out through the straight pipe. The one that goes out. But we're just going to plug it in quick and see. Yep. As I suspected. So what you're going to do is you'll use the side of the sideways line, and you'll hook that one into here. So let's get that going now. Kind of pull it apart. It's kind of got these extra spots here, and then you kind of just slide your finger around the outside and just weave it on. You probably go a couple in. Get a little more meat on the fitting. And same thing. Grab your clamp, tighten her up. There we go. Now we got this hooked up. Now we got to either find a way to mount this to the wall, which would probably be your best bet, like off to the side of the machine, and then vent this up and out. I have a big window here that I can flip open for now. That's all I'm gonna do is just hang the hose out the window. It'll be a lot quicker and easier. I gotta go get the right tools to cut a hole through my siding. I gotta get a 6-inch hole saw. Maybe I got a buddy I can borrow one from, but that's what I'm gonna do to cut the hole in the siding and then vent this outside. But for now, we're just gonna hang this pipe out the window, and that'll be good enough. Assuming you do have it all mounted and ready to go, you're just gonna plug this baby right into this socket right here. This is one that says extractor on it. And now we're essentially ready to go. So let's take a peek here. So we got our chiller. So we got our chiller hooked up. Inlet outlet lines are hooked up. We got our sensor cable hooked up. We got the chiller power hooked up. And now we have the exhaust hooked up. Everything down here is ready to go. Also plugged in to the exhaust port. And now we got our main power port. And then right over here, you have an earth ground port, relays, and then you have your PC USB. That's what you're going to plug into your laptop or your desktop computer that you have next to your laser. But yeah, now we're essentially ready to go. So I'm going to slide this machine into place and kind of get it ready to hook up to the computer next. Alright, now our machine's in place. We've got our exhaust vent outside, pretend that's through the wall, and then our computer. Make sure your PC cable is hooked up. Remember where that plug was in the back, over there. And then another thing I forgot to kind of add was compressed air. I ran a rubber hose air line, and then I changed the fitting to your standard 1/4-inch chuck for US airline. Like in the US we use that typical chuck for a lot of things for shop work. So yep, plug that in there, and then you can adjust your regulator pressure over here. I have it set for like 45 psi. I have zero idea how aggressive that is going to be coming out of the little nozzle here. You got your little airline here, and this goes into this nozzle and it shoots straight down. So I don't know if it's gonna be blowing parts all over the place at that pressure or not, but that's for your cutting air pressure. So there's a separate solenoid that turns on when you are cutting. I believe in the software you can turn on the air assist, and then that'll actually turn the air assist on for cutting, or it does it automatically in the controller probably when the laser turns on. And then they also have engrave air pressure. This is a total bypass, so if I turn this on now, I can get air to pass through, and you can kind of hear it just turned on, and then you can turn it off. So that's like an air bypass. If you needed to run it and say you didn't want to run full tilt air pressure here, this is more of like a fine-tune adjustment. Now that we're ready to rock here, we'll power on the machine. It's pretty cool. You got your lights on over here, and then this is your laser. This is your laser pointer on the system. It's pretty cool. I'll show you how that works too. It's like our chiller turned on right away, so that's good. So that'll start flowing water through the laser. And the laser just did its homing procedure right now. And then your screen display doesn't really show much other than systems that's ready to go. I'll show you how this laser pointer thing works right now. So you turn it on, and then you can use these buttons here to kind of move the machine wherever you want. Look how fast it is. Really cool. And then there's an up and down function here. Up and down, that's your bed height adjustment. So as you go down, you'll notice how the two lasers get farther apart. So as we go up, they're going to converge. So right there, that's how you know your laser is going to be set up and ready to cut correctly. So that's what's sweet about this auto bed leveling. You can just move it up and down with the push of a button instead of like a crank or a knob. So yeah, we're pretty much ready to rock, and we're ready to hook it up to the PC. Alright, let's jump into the Lightburn software. I'll kind of show you how how it all works. I don't have like a screen recorder on here, so I'm just gonna kind of point the camera at the screen and show you how I got everything set up. Alright, so if you got Lightburn, you're gonna open it up. I do want to note you need to have the DSP software or it will not work. I had a diode laser and it was just the G-code version of Lightburn. Let me see if I can pull that up. Maybe I can do it in license management. Yep, okay. So if you look at the device types enabled here, so you go to help, and then you go down to license management, and it shows you how many like days you have left in your license and all that. So I have the G-code version as well as the DSP version. You need the DSP version to read the controller on the unit over here. So this one is on COM 5, laser ready. So I should be able to hit home, and you can hear it in the background that it's homing position. So say if you had to add one, what you can do here is you go to devices down here, and then you can do find my laser. I had issues with that. It wasn't finding the laser, so I had to create a manual one. And what you'll do is you'll go to the Ruida controller, because that's what it is. So Ruida, hit next, and then you're going to want to do serial USB, and you'll hit next, and then you can name it whatever you want. I didn't name it. I think I named it the RMLaser 960, so that's what the machine is. And then you're going to change your X-axis and your Y-axis to 900 by 600 if you have the 960 Pro, like I do. And when you're done with that, you just finish the setup, and then it's done. And then you'll end up selecting it in your devices over here when you connect. And then you got to pick the correct COM port. Okay, another thing I wanted to show you guys was how to acquire the settings from the machine. They're different than what loads in the stock. So what you want to do is you want to go up to this little tool. It's like a screwdriver crossed with a wrench. So you load that up. There's these basic settings. These are fine, just leave it. This is kind of what you enabled for 900 by 600 millimeter bedside, your origin, yada yada yada. What we're gonna do here though is go to the additional settings, and these are kind of your speed settings for the gantry. So you want to read those from the controller. I already did it, so I'm not going to click it again, but it'll change a whole slew of settings here. They're quite a bit faster than what's in stock settings. Those are kind of for safe measure. This is what's preloaded into the controller that grabs it from the USB. Yeah, now you're ready to cut and load whatever files you're going to load into here. I think I'm going to load something in now. Let's see what we got here. Got to hit import. And then there's these. My wife was making some thing for her mom's curling team. They're like these chips. It's kind of like a heads or tails coin. It's like a heads or tails coin. So she just used wood for now. We're kind of debating what we want to use. I think we'll have to do that. But we were thinking maybe acrylic would be a cool option as well. But yeah, it's a two-sided thing, so she's just cutting them out in two pieces, and yeah, kind of a neat little deal. So maybe we'll just cut those out for our first cut. Alright, so another thing I wanted to run through was the USB drive that came with the system. It comes in this little package here. You just open it up. They already preload it with software. It has a whole slew of tools and software, and it has videos, like how-to videos on how to do things. I read through most of it, and it's pretty helpful stuff. So kind of just figured I'd show you what's in here. They give you a Lightburn software. It's pretty outdated, so you don't want to load that one exactly. You'll want to, if you do Lightburn, just get the newest one from the website. But there is this RD Works software. It's the Works V8 setup. So it's essentially like Lightburn. I wonder if I still have it on the machine. I do. So it's like Lightburn. It's just a different. It's got a different feel to it, and it's a little more industrial feeling. Very simplistic approach, has a lot of the same settings, but I've been using Lightburn for the last 2 years, so I'm very used to it, so I decided to go that route. But there is some free software that does work with the machine, and it works just fine. So you can always use this if you don't want to pay for Lightburn. So the laser does come with these sweet blades on there. They're just aluminum extrusions. And then he's got a blade table in here. I'll give you a kind of a view of that right now. I'm going to start preloading these in, and then I'll kind of show you what it looks like when it's done. Alright, blade table is installed. I'm going to put the honeycomb table in right on top of that. Now you can run it with this table by itself. So I'm going to lower the bed here too. Just raised it about another inch, so make sure this is down far enough. So you can run it without the honeycomb as well, but I cut a lot of small parts, so I think the honeycomb bed's kind of where it's at to kind of keep everything in place without dropping. I do want to run a test. It's a laser, it's like a bed leveling test. Sometimes when shipping, some things can get out of alignment. There's a lot of lead screws that adjust the bed height. RMLaser shows a video on how to do this. I'll give you kind of a rundown on how to do it as well. Alright, so I just grabbed like a smaller chunk of MDF. Probably not the best to use like the edge. I'm going to use the inside edge of the honeycomb instead. So I'm going to move the head over. Alright, and then we're going to get it so it intersects. Alright, so there's our reference point. So now we're just going to move the head around and make sure it's the same all the way around. Go to this side, butt it in. Bring it over. Look at that, it's perfect. Single laser point. So now we'll bring it back. Do it up here. Pretty close. So I think that could use some adjustment. Alright, my bed is a little kitty wampus, so I'm going to adjust it right now. So what you do is you move the front panel off, and then there's a side panel over kind of by the chiller. Alright, now you can kind of see a little better. So we got two lead screws over here, and over here we got two lead screws with some pulleys. Those pulleys are the things that you're going to adjust to get a little more movement on the lead screws. So you got to go up or down. So what I'm going to do is go to each corner and get it so I can match a single corner. So we can use the back right lead screw as our reference, and then we're going to match all the other ones to it. So you're going to grab your bag of Allen wrenches. So it comes with a small yellow bag of Allen wrenches. One of those will fit those pulley screws. I believe this is a 2.5mm Allen, so that's what you'll end up using to adjust things. So right now we're going to come back up here, and we're going to go set this piece of wood to that corner for our reference point. So I'd imagine we're going to want to be pretty far to the edge. This will give us a good four-corner adjustment. So when we get it over there, you're going to want to make sure that's a single dot converging. Right now it looks nearly perfect. We'll go up or down a little bit just to see. And I see two dots. There we go. And I see one. Alright. So now that's our reference point. We're going to match everything to that. So we're going to adjust the other three lead screws so they're the same one. Alright, so now that one's showing two dots. So let me go down there. I'm going to loosen it up. There's two screws. So you're probably going to need some torque on them. I think they torque them pretty good from the factory. So loosen them up. There's two of them, one front, one back over here. It'll change as you spin the pulleys. So that's the wrong way. You want to go the other way. Okay. And then you can turn this lead screw. And I'm going to turn it. And I'm going to go and I'm going to check. We are converged. That line is perfect. So now we're going to tighten that. We're going to tighten that lead screw pulley, and we'll move on to the next corner. Alright, so now here's our front left corner pulley. We are a little off. We need to bring that up a little bit, so we're going to rotate this lead screw as well. So let's tighten up these or loosen up these. There's that one here. Oh yeah, that one's a little loose already, so maybe that's why I moved. I don't know exactly which way to turn it, so a little trial and error, but up or down. And you can kind of see as you go. So we gotta go left. That is converged right there. A little more. There we go. And now we're tight. I talked to Ray, he's the owner and operator of RMLaser. He says tighten these like hell. I'm going to tighten them real tight. You don't want them coming out. There that guy is. Give him a good crank. Loctite might be a good idea too. I'm just going to tighten them for now. If I have any problems, I'll end up Loctiting those. So. Alright, that one is also off, so we're going to adjust that one. This is a very important step. Otherwise you might run into issues where you're not cutting evenly. Like you'll go up to a side of the board and you might not cut correctly. So you don't want that happening. So let's get this guy figured out here. Alright, that's all it took. About a 3/4 turn. Let's give these a quick tighten. Make sure they're nice and tight. Get some torque on them. Make sure you know which ways your lefty loosey and righty tighties are. A little backwards at times. There we go. Okay, so now that the bed level is adjusted, put your panels back on. Make sure everything is ready to go for your first cut. So I'm going to move this out of the way. Get our wood up out of here. And then we're going to put in, I don't know, just a piece of plywood. Alright, so we're going to pop into Lightburn quick and adjust some of these settings for our laser lines. So we got our cuts here. I'm going to adjust the engraving one. Let's say 30%. Like, we'll try that first. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough or not. And then we'll just do the cut one full power. I think they say 99%. So we want to cut it in one shot. So those are our two lines. Here's our two pieces ready to cut here. And then I did actually have to, because you can't send it if this limit switch is up, so I taped on the limit switch so we could watch. So there we go, and I'm going to send this to the machine. Here the blower motor kicked on right away when the machine started going. I got the engraver here going. So it looks pretty light. Looks like we're going to have to slow down the speed a bit or engrave harder. So there's our cutting power. So that was 30 psi or 45 psi and 300 mils a second and 99% power. We'll see if it even cut through. But I don't think it did. That went absurdly fast. I have to shut my engraving setup off. Yeah, that'd be quite impressive if it actually was able to cut that fast through there. Not a chance. So first try didn't go great. Still learning the settings. This is the first time I've ever used this laser. I need to learn how it all works. So detail looks great though. I can't complain. It looks really cool. So we'll just flip it over now. These are just test cuts in a random piece of wood. So let's adjust those settings again, and we'll go a little bit slower this time around. Alright, so first attempt was kind of a fail. I'm normally used to cutting millimeters per minute in a diode laser because you have to cut super slow on that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to adjust these. We're going to turn this down quite a bit. We're going to go to about 150 millimeters a second for the engraving, and I'm going to turn the power up to about 50%. That's good. That should make a nice dark line. And then this guy, let's go like 50 millimeters a second, and also 90% power. And we'll do just the one pass again. We're gonna see if that works a little better this time around. Do the same file. Sounds a little better. Sounds like it's cutting a little harder. That's good. Oh yeah, it's definitely darker. Awesome. I like it. It's still cutting really fast compared to a dial laser. That's like cutting through the wood. That's that screeching noise you're hearing. There we go. Now we're hacking through the wood, hopefully. Still really fast. That's our engraving pressure. Looks like a much harder cut. Well, let's see if we cut through. Whoa, look at that. That's awesome. That hacked through so nice. These are still a little bit lighter than I'd like. I'd probably go slower to get a little bit more finish on those parts. But still, it hacked through the side. It's not even burnt. With my diode laser, those edges would just be charred. Absolutely charred. Here's the other one for reference. Just came out sweet. That was awesome. I think my wife has these a little too big. I think she must have scaled them down. But essentially, you're supposed to glue these together, and then you throw it in the air, and then you see if the house or the stone side apparently is the first ones to go in curling. Well, there we have it, guys. That was actually pretty fun. Strangely very easy to use. I was expecting more issues as I was going along. No, this was awesome. I love the safety measures on here with all the limit switches. Prevents you from staring at the laser or getting inside of it. Makes you want to have the lid closed. Then no kids can get at it. No laser can harm anyone's eyes. Although the red laser is very translucent. I don't think you could hurt your eyes with it. But holy cow, that was wicked fast compared to a diode laser. Here, look at my diode laser. Here it is. It's got a lot of stuff on it, but here's my old setup. Here's my old diode laser. This is a Ortur Laser Master Pro. It's a great little unit, but by golly, it's a slow piece of crap compared to this beast over here. Going from a diode laser to a CO2 laser is just night and day. Holy crap, this feels like a legit machine, whereas that other one felt like a hobby toy, you know. That was... I'm actually really blown away with how awesome this worked. This was really fun. Super excited to keep using it. This is just the first of many little projects and test cuts that I have planned. I'm going to do a lot more coming up here, so stay tuned for that. We'll do some more projects and maybe some more how-to videos, but hopefully you got something out of the setup here. I tried to cover every base I possibly could when you're setting up a new laser. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Feel free to send me an email at ungercnc@gmail.com if you need any help with your RM laser, and we'll see you guys next time.